Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing great. So today we'll try to understand script include and glide Ajax in ServiceNow. So basically we are going to understand how can you call server side script into client side. Guys, I have already explained what is a script include and types of script include in my previous video, and I have provided some scenario based use cases on each type of script include. So you can watch that video. So in this video, mainly we are going to understand how can we call, server side script into client side. So yeah, let's get started. So this slide contains what is script include, and I have already provided quite good explanation about script include in my previous video. So I'm not going to explain it once again, but I just want to highlight the most important point of script include. Script includes are reusable server-side script that runs on server, okay? But we can call it from server side as well as client side, okay? So yeah, that's all about script include. Let's go to Glide Ajax and try to understand what is Glide Ajax. So Ajax means asynchronous JavaScript and XML, okay? So I think it is quite clear from the name. So it is asynchronous and it is a group of interrelated and client-side development techniques used to create asynchronous web application. And Ajax enables web application to send and retrieve information to and from a server in the background without impacting the user experience with displayed web page. So what asynchronous means? So whenever client or browser is making call to a server, so what is happening? Server responds and server feeds the data and provide data to the browser or on the form. But see, we sometimes we have to wait to get the data. Until and unless we get the data, we cannot proceed. But in term of asynchronous, it will make call asynchronously, and once data is ready, it will get displayed. So we don't have to wait. User doesn't have to wait, and it will not halt the user action. Okay, it will provide the control back and user can proceed with his action. So this is advantage of having asynchronous. Okay, so the glide ajax class enables the client script to call a server script or synchronously. Okay, so whenever we are making any call, user doesn't have to wait. User will get control immediately. Okay, so I think it is quite clear why we use glide ajax so much. So it doesn't affect the performance also because it is not halting the user. And you can say the glide ajax class allows the execution of server side code from the client side, and glide ajax calls pass parameters to the script includes, and using naming convention allow the use of these parameters. So guys, I hope glide ajax is now clear to all of you. So let's navigate to our next slide, and here what we have to do is we have to implement one use case scenario where we are going to populate the email ID once we select the requested for automatically. So this is the catalog item we have taken as example. So once we are going to select requested for here, so this email ID should get automatically populated. Okay. So we are going to perform this use case scenario. So guys, before we start implementing this use case, I want to let you know some of the most important point. So like we write the script include, okay, but what are the steps we follow in writing script include? What we exactly do in the script include? So in script include, first we prepare the data which we have to send to the client side, okay. So how we prepare the data, we'll try to understand, and then we have to return that data, okay. So let's come here and try to create script include. So here what we have to do is we have to um, provide the name of the script include first. So I am going to provide get details as a name, and I am going to click on this client callable because we need to call this script include on the client side. So we have to make sure we have checked this checkbox. Okay. Here we have to define our script. So first I have already explained about this. We need to create a method, our own function. So I'm going to give get value and we have created our function. So always remember this point. This is the syntax of creating function in a script include. And now what we have to do is we have to define one email variable where we are going to store our email ID. Okay. And here next point what we have to do is we have to define another variable which we are going to get it from client side. So see, this is the requested for we have selected. So we have to get this requested for right from the from the form. So I'll get this information on client side, right? And we store this information on one of the parameter, and by using this dot get parameter I am getting that record here. So I can compare, I can filter my data when I'm gliding the user table, and I can give the respective data like whatever we have selected here. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I have used this dot get parameter, and whatever parameter we are going to define in client side I have to pass it here. Okay. So we'll pass it later once we define our parameter into client side. All right. So now you know that now we need to glide our sys user table and we need to fetch the information. So let's do it. So I'm gliding the sys user table here. Okay. And now what we have to do is we have to, sorry, I always forget to provide new here. Sorry. Now what I have to do is I have to use add query so I can filter up my exact data which I want. So I am using sysid to filtering the data, and I have to filter the databases on this UID. Okay. So in client side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get requested for from the form. Okay, by using g underscore form dot get value, and I'm going to pass that requested form in a parameter into client side. Okay, I'll show you that. So this will, I mean that will fetch the sysid of that requested for, and here I'm comparing both. Okay, so yeah, now I need to run a query to execute my code, and here I need to use if get you dot next. Once we get this value, like whatever we have selected matches the sysid, so what I have to do is, so now here what I need to do is I need to return the email ID. Okay, so how can I return the email ID? I need to use object dot email. Yeah, so this email is the backend value of the email of this user table. So like once we get the record, we need to return the data which we need on the client side. So I have used the object and this email. Okay, now let's save it, but we need to do some of the modification here once we write the client side script. Okay. uh, so guys, next step is to create a catalog client script. So we need to call our script including into catalog client script. Okay, so let's create one. So here you will get to understand what is glide ajax and how we use it. So guys, remember one thing. So I always try to make a key point. So whenever you are doing any coding or you are learning any new new thing, so always try to understand that concept. Okay, and always try to make some key point so you can refer and you would be able to understand. So I, like, according to my understanding, I provide you key points. So see how I have sorted it out. Like first I need to prepare the data, then I have to return it. So let's see here what I have done. So here I have prepared the data and I have returned it. So now I am very clear to this script include, because I have noted the key point. I have understood the key point of the script include. So you always try to, you know, maybe do such kind of thing. So take some important point and write it somewhere and maybe make note of it. So now client side, what we have to do. So now you have returned the data from the server side. Now you have to retrieve the data, right? And then you have to process the value regarding the business requirement. So let's create. So here you can give get data or anything as name, and it will be applicable to catalog item. So it is fine. It should be active. UI type you can select desktop or all according to your preferences or requirement. And in type you have to select on change, because whenever we are changing the requested for, we need to populate the email ID, right, of that requester. So you have to, let's go to maintain item. So why we are taking on change? Because whenever we are changing the, you know, requester, it should act basis on that requester. So I have selected Abraham, so it should populate the email ID of Abraham. Okay, so once I change the another requester, it should populate value of that requester, right? Email ID should be populated of this requester. So I am taking on change, and variable name you have to select requested for, right? And this can be selected as per your requirement. So I want this catalog item to be executed on catalog item view. So I have selected this one, and if you can select applies for on requested item, applies on catalog task according to your requirement. Okay. So now here we are going to write our script. So first what I have to do is I am going to create one variable requested for, and I'm going to get a value of requested for whatever we are selecting here. Okay, this idea of this user, like whatever user we are selecting and requested for, I want this ID of that user here. Okay, so why I want it? Because I need to add this as a parameter, and I have to pass this on server side. So it can compare like what user has been selected, and it can populate the email ID of that respective user. Okay. Now the main we are going to use our glide ajax. So how we use glide ajax? So first we need to create instance of glide ajax, and we need to pass the script include as an argument. So let's see. So I have created instance of glide ajax. Yeah, and here I'm going to pass my script include which I have created. This one, right? So done. And now you have to referring this object of this glide ajax instance, and you need to add param. So add parameters to the request which are read in the script include. So this is the parameter name. This param underscore name is used to invoke a function in the script include. So I have written this function, right? Get value. So I need to invoke this function, like whatever functionality I have defined here, I need to call it on client side. So I'm going to use add param for that. Okay. And here I have to pass this param name. Okay. And here I have to give my method name, which I need to invoke it here. Okay, got it. And now I am going to add one more param, because I need to pass this requested also as a param. So here what I need to do is this param requested for. Okay, and here I'm going to give this requested. Even you can pass it directly this one here, not an issue. Let's do it. You can copy this one, you can remove it, you can directly pass it here. Okay, so this has been passed as a second parameter. Okay, so now I have to copy this parameter name and I have to paste it here. Okay, so this like whatever value we are getting requested for this id, we are passing in this parameter, and referring this dot get parameter, I am storing this value into uid. And here I am comparing like what value has been selected in this uid, so I'm comparing with the sys id. So this will fetch the sys id of the requested for. So we are comparing it here, and whenever we are then we are running the query, and whenever it's matching, we are getting that same sys id, we are returning the email id. So once the user we have selected, the sys id we are getting in the user table, we are returning email id of that respected user. Okay, so I'm trying to make you understand very clearly, but still if you have any doubt, you can let me know in comment section. Okay, so we have defined our parameter. Now what we have to do is we have to use ga.getXML. So what it does, so it execute our code. Okay, it execute the server side code which we have defined. Okay, so for executing the code, like whatever we have defining the server side, we need to use ca.getXML. And here I am going to pass callback function as an argument. So what is the advantage of callback function? So callback function we use to return the result from the server side code asynchronously. Okay, so that means like it will, whenever result is ready, it will be returned. Okay, so it will make it asynchronous. So it will not hold up the execution of any other client script. Okay, so whenever result is ready, it will be get displayed or it will be passed. So it is clear, right? So now we have passed our callback function as argument. So we have to define our callback function. So let's define callback function here. And you have to pass the response as parameter of this callback function. And here let's see like how we are defining the callback function, and what we have to do is, so first I'm going to define answer variable here. Okay, and in answer variable what I'm going to do is, you have to take this in this format itself. So I'm going to define and I'm going to explain you what it does, how it works. Okay, so you have to define response xml dot document element dot get attribute, and here we have to pass the answer. Okay, so what is this doing? Okay, so now you have this question in your mind, what does mean by this? So like whatever we are returning from server side script, that is bind with our answer attribute. Okay, and what this response xml dot document element and get attribute does, so response is an xml document. Okay, so which contains an attribute as the answer. Okay, so for that we are using get attribute. So this response xml contains the document which contains an attribute as answer, and whatever value is returned from our function, our script include method, will be binded with this answer attribute. Okay, so whatever value will be, returning from the server side, it will get binded with the answer variable. So mainly in simple term you can understand, answer give us the value returned from the script include function. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to uh, you have to set the value. Okay, so we have received the value from the script include, and that is binded with answer. So mainly answer, like whatever we are returning from here, it will be binded with answer. So our answer give the value which we have returned from script include. So now we don't have to do much. We have to use your underscore form dot set value, and we have to set the value of email ID. So you need to take back in the value of the email. So that is email ID, and you have to just give it your answer. Okay, because we have binded the server side, like whatever server side data or script include is returning into answer variable, and we are done. Now we can save it, and we are done with this. So now let's try to test it, whether our email ID is being populating or not. So let's select Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so we have done something wrong somewhere. Let me verify it. So guys, you could see here I have written attribute spelling is incorrect. Okay, attribute. So that was the reason it is not able to execute. So guys, we had made very silly mistake. So try to check your code very carefully. So once we select here Abraham Lincoln, you could see here email ID will be automatically selected. So like this you can write any kind of code, you can populate any value. In this case we can use get reference also, but again we need to make use of callback function to make our code asynchronous. So this is how you can implement the script include and client as Ajax. So I have given very simple example, but it might have cleared your all of doubt. Okay, and you could see or take an screenshot like how to use glide ajax in a client script. I have tried to make note of it, so you can refer and you can remember the steps, like first what you have to do and second what you have to perform. And here I have provided it the variable answer equals to a response dot response xml dot document element dot get attribute, and we need to pass the answer as argument what it does. So maybe you can refer, and I have already explained it, but you can take a screenshot for your reference. And here we have mentioned about JSON, right? So we use JSON whenever we need to pass multiple data, like if I need to pass email ID as well as manager, I need to populate here email ID as well as manager of this requested port, then how it can be done. So you cannot pass the multiple data like this. For that you need to use JSON. Okay, you need to create a JSON object. So we are going to discuss about it in our maybe next video. So yeah guys, that's all for today videos. I hope you liked my videos. If you like my videos, please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.